Oh, no, never mind.
Okay.
Okay. Please make sure that reading is out. Any materials that you need for reading, notebooks, pencil out. Great, Justin, thank you. I know Justin's ready. Okay. So, yes, Elhash.
Can I use the bathroom?
Go ahead. I'd like to remind us all also that we have breaks. We have 2 30-minute breaks. Or is it? Yeah, 2 30-minute breaks and an hour-long break. I understand that things happen, but make sure that you're doing what you need to do during those times. So like going to the bathroom, eating meals during that time, anything that needs to happen then happens. Those are much longer breaks than you have in school. So, okay, so what we are going to be working on today is last class. We, Haja, focus. So, last class, we were discussing Codel's memoir. We finished off talking about Codel and all of the things that she wrote about her life in 5th grade. So, somebody tell me, we're done talking about Sing a Song of Tuna Fish. Somebody tell me, you can do one of two things. You can give me a summary, and or you can tell me how you felt about the text based on what you read independently and based on what we all read together. Haja, go ahead.
So basically, I'm gonna give how I felt about the text.
Okay, go ahead.
So how I felt about, I felt it was like a good story because it was like cause they were like, it was telling us like maybe like this might, maybe like something might like this might happen to us later in the year.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And like it's helping us.
Robin?
Okay. Thank you, Haja.
Yes.
Okay. And now I'm gonna go Anthony, Mensa, Jada. Anthony, go ahead.
Okay, I guess I have to. So
You raised your hand.
no, I didn't.
Oh, well, your hand was raised on here, so I volunteered you.
So I'm gonna make a summary.
Okay.
So a summary is that there's this girl named Esme. She's in 5th grade, and at first we learned about her experience with her mom, and then we learned about what type of schooling she goes to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think after that was her favorite hobbies to do, because she liked to like sing and do and like and all that stuff. And also she next was about her crush and the fortune telling thingy and love. And after that was about the grandparents, which summarizes the whole book.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. Mensa, go ahead.
Wait, can I summarize like the independent readings
Sure.
that we?
Not independent readings. No. It's what we've been doing.
Okay. Okay, so I would like to do a summary.
Okay.
So I want to summarize. Okay, so we know that there's this girl named Esme, and she seems to be like a very dramatic person at times, and she likes doing many activities and has one best friend named Akila, and she has a lot of family members who are very like I would say like energetic, and then yeah.
Giselle. Okay, thank you, Mensa. And now finally, Jada. Sorry, I usually have this thing up, but exited out. Go ahead, Jada.
I would like to give a summary of this time. So
Can you give me your opinion? We already had 2 summaries. Jada?
My opinion on this text is that it's like a little bit dramatic, and though it's like really funny because the funniest part what I think it was when the German girl was giving Esme some lessons.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jada. Okay, and so today we are going to be working on a new text. So the new text, and with our discussion prompts, I was going to just read certain parts of it, but I think that it would be more useful because we're going to be discussing it for me to just read it, the text out loud to you, based on what you were supposed to have read for homework, but you couldn't have. So today we're starting a text by Gary Soto, which we've, I think, read already. We've read that author before, and we read one of his short stories. You were supposed to read we are going to read one of his short stories called The Buddha, about Gary Soto's childhood. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to see if I can read it at a super, in my speediest way that I can read. We'll see how fast. CSU knows that I can read. I can read pretty fast if I have to. So our eyes are on the screen. I'm noticing that some of us are laying down. We're not laying down right now. I think maybe some of us also need to set up spaces where we can be focused and we can have a flat surface to write on. I know that Jasmine, it seems like Jasmine has a really great place where she can do work. Okay, so can everybody see the text? Thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. Okay, great. I'm gonna go ahead and start reading. Our eyes are on the text as I'm reading. Our eyes are on the screen. The Buddha. I killed ants here and pulled puncture vine there. There was a small rise of earth and oily weeds at the junkyard at Van Ness and Braley. At the young age of 5, I couldn't go far. Maybe to the side of the house where I looked down the long throat of the alley. To Mr. Drake's palm tree where pigeons warbled at the top of a leafy world. Or to the front steps where I played with the ceramic Buddha my uncle had brought back from the war. The Buddha was happiness, a great smile and large belly, soft colors, and robe splotched with gold. He usually rested on the small table near the telephone and rattled when the phone rang. The Buddha was the most beautiful thing in our house, that and a Japanese garden sculpted in a seashell. When my mother was away, I took the Buddha out to the front steps and played a game in which he ho-hoed, a belly laugh, and walked on lines of ants. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. And today, along with me reading through the text, we're also going to pull out descriptive language from the text. So where in this part of the text do you see strong descriptive language? Trying to find. Sorry, I just wanted the chat open. I can't find Jamie. Oh, there you are, Jamie. Go ahead, Jamie.
So, the author uses descriptive language by more like not telling us what they're talking about, more like trying to build the suspense, and then towards the end they're going to have to explain what's going on.
Can you see oh sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Can you see the text here, Jamie?
Yeah.
Can you can you pull out a piece of evidence where he is showing instead of telling?
Can you come back to me?
Sure, can somebody help Jamie out? Safika, go ahead.
Do I share a piece of descriptive language?
That would be great.
Okay. In the second sentence, I think that's like, I think the second sentence shows descriptive language.
Okay.
Because it describes specifically, what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. It's talking specifically about what's happening, and then some other things. Oh, sorry, you can hear the sirens in the background. But specifically, something else that I came across was that. Oh, Akia, let me pull you up. Akia, go ahead.
So I think that where there's descriptive language is at the young age, where it says, the Buddha was happiness, a great smile and a large belly, soft colors, and a rope blocks to gold. He usually rested on the small table near the telephone and rattled when the phone rang. The speaker is describing the Buddha.
Absolutely, yeah. Great job, Akia. Yeah, so the Buddha was happiness, a great smile and a large belly and a robe splotched with gold. That's a really, really strong example. Jamie, did you get something?
I was gonna say the one that Akia said.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jamie. Okay, I'm going to continue reading. On a day when I knew my mother was going to be gone a long time, and my sister fell asleep from the heat, I carried the Buddha to Van Ness Avenue. I held him and I said, "We can't go over there." Van Ness was a busy street, bluish with diesels and, if someone is unmuted, can you mute yourself, please? And large sedans, yellow with an occasional taxi. Buddha smiled and I rubbed his belly. I pressed my thumb on his gold splotches. I listened to a diesel downshifting, the grind of gears hurting the air. I sat the Buddha in the dusty weeds and killed red ants with my thumb. I collected shards of broken glass, lit with sunlight. I searched for wire, loops of bright copper, and that my uncle said were worth money. I worked my fingers into the asphalt to pull out a bottle cap. I couldn't read, so I sniffed the cap. I thought I would smell root beer or 7-Up. I smelled the odor of metal, which lingered in my nose all day. I scraped the cork from a metal cap, and it came out in flakes. Diesels turned slowly onto Braley Street, their shadows square and full of dust, their gears grinding dry-toothed, their heavy brakes sighing. They were heading towards, sorry, I lost my place. They were heading towards Sun-Made Raisin, where our family worked behind a penitentiary of tall windows. The diesels were moving so slow that I thought I could try to run through the space between the front and the back wheels. I stood on the dirt curb, panting. I looked at the Buddha, half hidden in weeds. His smile was dark and his belly busy, with red ants exploring his roundness. I saw the sirens. I saw a diesel crawling slowly up Van Ness, large, but not scary enough for a second thought. When I entered Braley, I ran to its side, then drifted left until I was under it and looking up, my head just a few inches from the undercarriage, my legs pumping as fast as they could go. I gritted my teeth and told myself, "Hurry, hurry." After 20 steps, I drifted out from under the truck and skidded in the dust. I waved to the driver, whose face I could see in the mirror, but I didn't see him return my wave. Black smoke coughed from the truck's tall pipe, and its gears ground into third. Okay, where else am I seeing some descriptive language? I just read quite a bit, but how is the author putting us here? Don't pretend like I can't see you. Go ahead, Ryan. Or not Ryan. Who did I just call on? Casey, sorry. Go ahead, Casey.
I think that the language when it said that the diesel trucks that they were turning on to Sun-Made Raisin.
Yeah, okay. Where else are we seeing some descriptive language? Jada, go ahead.
I saw descriptive language where in paragraph 2 of page 4, when it says that he or she was smelling smelling the smell and describing the smell and the wire. Right.
Okay, great. Thank you. And so we're seeing here, based on what Jada said, a lot of what we're seeing here is the author's putting us there by using 5 sense details, right? So we're understanding what's happening visually, so how it smells, how it feels, and based on the place that he's playing, and he's collecting these scraps. So it doesn't seem like the usual place where he would play. Here, it's giving me a really good sense of what Gary Soto was experiencing as a kid. So as we continue reading, I want us to think about how else is Gary Soto making us feel like we're actually a part of his childhood. I returned home with the Buddha, set him near the telephone, and wiped his face free of dust while my sister cried in her crib. Mother came home carrying bags of plums and peaches that my sister and I ate on the steps. Later, we went to my grandmother's cellar and watched Uncle Junior cut balsa wood into parts for his glider. The cellar was lit by one bulb. Dusty jars of nopals lined one wall. I sniffed the air. Although the scent of bottle cap was still in my nose, I picked up a dank smell, a ghost of cool air blowing, from under the house. I liked the smell and liked my uncle when he said I could have the scraps. I made a tiny plane and later crashed it 100 times until only slivers remained. This part I really, really want us to think about when I say when uncle. So make sure we're really focused. I'm taking a look at everybody to make sure that our eyes are on their screens. Okay. When Uncle Junior's collie got hit on Van Ness, I watched him pant on the side of a road. So do we know what a collie is? A collie is a type of dog. I watched him pant on the side of the road, his eyes quiet with the dusk that had captured the streets. I couldn't see what was wrong with the dog. No blood flowed, no tears streamed, no protruding bone made the dog curl his lips. He just seemed tired, and Uncle seemed tired as he lifted him into his arms and told us kids to get the hell away. He started up the alley with pain in his arms. So in this paragraph, we see that the uncle's dog was hit by a truck or a car on a side of a road called Van Ness. In really strong details and like really vivid description, Gary Soto is telling us about the time that he witnessed this happening to his dog, or to his uncle's dog, and how sad his uncle was at the time. The air was cool, but the asphalt hot. I walked in a small circle, looking for the bottle cap. I stood in the weeds and said to myself that there was where the Buddha had been, but I didn't know this place. The grass had sprung back where the Buddha had rested, and it was too dark to slash a stick across the hole where ants came and went with crumbs of the living in their great little jaws. Okay, I'm gonna stop my share now. Okay, so now that we've reviewed some of the descriptive language in the passages about the Buddha and about like how his uncle's dog got ran over, we're gonna move on to our discussion prompts, which is going to mostly focus on the Buddha and what happened in this chapter. So if you were unable to focus, and if some of you were doing something else instead of focusing, you're gonna have a hard time with these discussion prompts. Ronnie, if you have a background, it needs to be off. So, excuse me. So we are going to go ahead and jump into our first discussion prompt. I'm going to type it into the chat. It is, what is the significance of the statue in the narrator's life? What is the significance of the statue in the narrator's life? So although you can't pull out direct quotes, you should be able to paraphrase based on what I read. Oh, sorry, I typed it only to Ronnie, but I meant to type it to everybody. We should be able to paraphrase what was going on. I'm gonna give us until 12:54 to answer this question, and then we'll come back together. I see that Karen's writing. Ronnie, you should be writing. Elhaj, you should be writing. I really like how Jada, oh, you just switched it up, Jada, but I did like how I could see Jada's work as she was writing. Should I spotlight Jada? I can. Mensa, you always think that. Maybe it's just my face. Daniel Mensa just called me out over private chat and said, that I can guess that you're feeling annoyed. I'm not feeling annoyed. I think that I just, that's just my attitude, my demeanor. Where are you, Daniel? I'm trying to find you.
He's always eating all day.
Oh, well, I can guess that you're feeling hungry.
I'm not trying to get fat.
Who said that? Why do you feel like I seem annoyed? Maybe I'd be I'm recording this lesson, y'all, but demeanor is like that's my attitude or like my personality.
Can I mute myself now?
Well, no, Daniel, because I gotta call you out. Why do I seem annoyed? I wouldn't be annoyed because you're far away. I only get annoyed because you guys, I'm around you guys so often, but now I'm not around you. I get annoyed. Melvin says that I do have an annoyed demeanor. That's just my personality, Melvin.
What's Melvin's demeanor?
Melvin's nonchalant. Melvin doesn't care. I wish I had Melvin's demeanor. Just, We're still writing our discussion prompts. I'm sorry to derail. Not right now, Casey. I'm getting too many chats.
I got a chat.
What's my demeanor? Okay, we're gonna come back together. Can somebody start us off? What do you think the importance of the Buddha statue is, or how is the Buddha statue important to the narrator? Go ahead, Nasha.
The Buddha statue is important to Gary Soto because he'd always play with it and he'd take it out with him.
Okay. Nazifa, go ahead.
And also in the text, it also says that it also showed a sign of happiness.
Okay. Why is it a sign of happiness, do you think?
I think to them it's like a sign of happiness because it's one of the most special things in their house.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Nazifa. Zainab, go ahead. I'm just going down the row.
I think that the narrator has a strong connection with the Buddha, which is why he plays with him and has such happiness with him.
Okay. I miss you too, Cece. You guys are getting me emotional. I'm over here all sad. Oh, oops. Something happened. Oh, okay. Haja, go ahead.
The statue is important to him because, like, he probably went through hard times with him or her.
Okay, with the Buddha?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get somebody on a different page. Let me meet you. Ryan, is that a hand? Go ahead, Ryan.
I wrote down that the significance of the statue was to help the narrator have luck and to feel comfortable about his surroundings.
Okay, yeah, right. I think that that's true, Ryan. Like that the statue is a sense of comfort to the narrator in times when maybe there wasn't as much comfort and there was maybe some uncertainty or like trouble in the narrator's life, right? He cared about the statue like it was like a friend of his. So I am now going to chat you our second discussion prompt. So funny. You guys are funny. All these private messages. The second discussion prompt is, based on what I've read so far, how would you characterize the narrator's childhood? We're gonna go until 1 o'clock and then we will come back together. So it's 12:57 right now. That's 3 minutes. Yes, Jada, you can share once we come back together. Yep, Giselle, sure. So it'll go Jada, Giselle. Kia can, sure, Kia. Mensa, that's not nice. Why? What?
When you scream.
My screen, I scream. Mensa says that I scare him. When I scream, though, it's because I feel like I'm so small and not intimidating that, like, the only way sometimes that people listen to me is because I scream. This is too much. Stop chatting me, please. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, 1 more minute. Yes, Casey, would you like to share?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go Giselle, Jada, Giselle, and then you. What was your thought?
Can I eat a cracker?
What's that?
Can I eat a cracker?
Yes, you may eat it. Yes, go ahead. Yes, Simon?
Can I also please share?
Yes, you may. Okay, I'm gonna bring us back together, and then I'm gonna start off with Jada. Sorry, I'm like an old person. I'm like reading things like this. It's because it's kind of bright in my room, so I don't see. Okay, I'm gonna start us off with Jada. Our eyes, just like yes, Mia. In the same way that we give our undivided attention, or we should, when people are speaking in class, we need to make sure that we give our undivided attention to people who are speaking here. I will say also that I had class last night on the computer on Zoom also, and one of my professors said something that I think is true, that sometimes speaking in class isn't super intimidating, but speaking, and I feel this right now, speaking on Zoom can be hard and intimidating because it's you don't know if people are listening to you, and you're talking to more people, and it's kind of like you're talking and you don't know, you're not getting feedback at the same time. So we need to make sure that we're respecting those who are speaking. So I'm going to start us off with Jada, giving our undivided attention to our friend Jada. Go ahead, Jada.
I put for the discussion prompt that the narrator's childhood was kind of sad because in the beginning, his dad mom had to go. His mother had to go or she had to go somewhere really long, and and when and part of the uncle's time was out, so it was kind of sad being alone, I think.
Okay. And then I said, then Giselle can share. Can we find you, Giselle? Go ahead.
Okay, so Jada, I agree with you, and I'd like to add on because I think that the speakers, like the narrator's life, is kind of special, and also, and I say
At the moment, no.
It's Anthony.
Yes.
No,
and
sorry,
a
Jada.
little
Sorry.
bit, and a little bit sad because like Jada said his mom had to leave, so it was like kind of sad, but I think it's special because his uncle gave him the Buddha, and I think that, and when he looks back at it, it gives him memories of his past, that his life was special.
Okay, great. And then I said Casey and then Simon. Go ahead, Casey.
I think that the narrator's life is a little bit kind of difficult because his mother is gone for some time, and I could tell that's hot or where he lives because his little sister fell asleep because of the heat, and his uncle's dog got ran over.
Okay. Zainab, sit up. And then Simon. Let me get you, Simon. Simon, go ahead.
I think that his childhood was very harsh and rough and challenging because his uncle's dog got run over, sadly, and his mom was usually gone for long times. But then when he got the Buddha, it kind of fixed things up, but because like to make him feel like more comfortable and a sense of comfort and like hope.
Yeah, and so let's think about that. So like the author / narrator seems like, when we talked about it in the last discussion prompt, the Buddha is like a very, very important thing to the narrator because it helped keep him company, right? So what does that tell us about like his social life, or like what was going on with his childhood? What inference can we make based on that? Go ahead, Haley.
I could make the inference that he had a very lonely childhood.
Right, he's probably lonely. Seems like maybe he has a little sibling, but he had the Buddha as his like really close friend. And then also like the beginning of the text. Sorry, Kia, go ahead.
I was gonna say that what Haley said, that maybe he doesn't have much friends because he only plays with ants and the Buddha. That's his only friend, his only comfort. And there seems to be a lot of people in his neighborhood, so I'm confused why he wouldn't hang out with them.
Yeah, and it also, sorry, Kia, to cut you off. And also something that's interesting is that in the text it said, I'm pulling out direct evidence, it said, I collected shards of broken glass lit with sunlight. I searched for wire, loops of bright copper. So what's going on there? What's going on, Anthony? Sorry, Anthony won't let me unmute you. There you go. Go ahead.
So what's going on is that maybe he's collecting stuff like I see people that collect like bottles to recycle for money. So it also said in the text he got caps, and his uncle, it said directly his uncle said that the caps are worth money. So maybe he's trying to dig up some stuff to go and sell for money.
Anthony, when you're like gonna go play, like where do you go usually? Where would you go?
Playground.
Yeah, like a playground, right? What is this setting here? Is he playing in a playground? Gabby, where does it seem like? I'm not sure if you like have the background knowledge, but where does it seem like he's playing?
We were watching zombies.
It seems like he was like playing. He was like playing like outside on his like porch, or just like right outside his house.
Sorry, Gabby, go ahead.
And he also. And he also just plays like on the sidewalk sometimes.
I love the support that Gabby's getting from her family. Good job, Gabby. It's true. And well, and I think that he might be playing, I don't know if we have the background knowledge to make this inference, but it seems like he's playing. Yeah? Akia?
He's playing in a junkyard.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you. +5 Zoom points for Akia. But we'll figure out what the Zoom points are for, but I don't know what they're for just yet. But he's playing in a junkyard probably. And a junkyard, if it's just like, that's like a garbage dump. Usually that's not where where you would think to play. So, a nice job today. I appreciate that the majority of us were able to like get invested in the text, even though we didn't have it right in front of us. I might actually send out the text for you guys just so you have it if you're able to access it. And what was I gonna say?